Today's session will be on functions. Before writing the functions, first let's understand what is this function, and then we'll start writing the programs. Function means it is a reusable code. So all these days, whatever programs we used to write, it was just writing a program and then execute it. We used to get the results immediately. Suppose if you want to have one more result, say if you want to get the results for another input, they have to change the input and run the entire code. But functions are not like that. Just writing a function and keep it aside, just pass some values and call that function. The function is executed with the input what you're passing. We call it as parameters. Let's take an example of the Excel formulas. Say we have something called as sum function. So what sum function will do? It will take the input of some values or range, and then it will give me some output. Similarly, these functions. So functions are nothing but it is like a predefined programs what we write and save it somewhere. Whenever I need, I'll just go and I'll call that function and get the results. Usually what will happen is there are some inbuilt functions. And these functions will be stored in a concept called as module or libraries. Module is nothing but a collection of functions or programs. Libraries are also like it will be stored, internally, where I'll have a lot of different functions, programs, whichever functions I need, I'll just have to call it. Like we have something called as pandas, numpy. So all these are actually some frameworks or say libraries which will be stored. Whenever I need functions related to that, I'll just call that. That is by passing a parameter. This is function. Now, if you want to define a function, defining a function means you're trying to create a function. If you want to create a function, you have to define it. So how to define it? There is a keyword called as def. I'll show you practically how actually you'll be using all these functions. I should start the function with def, and then with the function name. The function name has to be closed with parentheses, means the brackets. Suppose if there are some inputs to be passed and they are called as parameters, that has to be within these brackets. Unlike other softwares, you don't have to mention about the data type here. Automatically it will consider the data type and it will give me the result. So you don't have to bother about taking the data types. Next, the code, whatever you are writing for the definition or say defining of the function, that has to be ended with colon, like this for or if statements which we used to end with colon. Similarly here I have to use this colon. Suppose if you want to return a value, there are sometimes what will happen is the calculation will happen within the function itself, and if you want to return a value, then I have to use this return statement. So if you see here, this is the syntax. It says define function name. If at all there are parameters, you can use these parameters. And then we have this function statements, and then if at all there is any return, that is if you want to return some values, then you can give this return. So likewise, there are some examples here how to call the function. Okay, so all these definitions are there here. You can just go through that later. But what we'll do is we'll take all these functions, whatever we have written here, and we'll try to work on that and understand how to start the function and how to call the function and how to use this function in our Python. Right. So what I've done, all the programs, whatever is there, I've just put it here in a notepad where it will be easy for us to copy and paste and work on this, or we can type it also. Instead of going through all the notes here, I've kept only programs which will help you in understanding and writing the programs. Fine. First thing is, we'll go here, we'll take a new window, that is Python in our Jupyter. We know how to write a simple program. We'll go here, say str name equals iTech Analytic Solutions. A variable str name, and I'm trying to assign one value for this, that is this text. And if I say run, this value, that is iTech Analytic Solutions, will be assigned to str name. Now, if you want to print this, what I'll do, I'll say print str name, and I run this. This is the usual program what we do. Now, what we'll do is we'll write a function for this such a way that whatever value I just pass, that has to give me the result. That is defining function, or say creating a function. Now let's say I told you def, that is defining a function. This is what you have to specify here for creating one function. Let's go back. Def, this is the first statement what you have to give when you are trying to start creating a function. Next one is the function name. It is nothing but a program name, or say the code, whatever is there, to recognize that what is that function does. We'll say display now, or say display value. I'm just writing one function saying that display value. As we discussed, the function should be ended with parenthesis, that is open and closed parenthesis with a colon here like this. This is the function how I define. Say enter, then here it will ask me the statements. Let's say print, and I will give the same text whatever is there here. I'm just putting this text. This is the function. So what this function will do, if I'm calling this function, this will give me the result here like this. We have these functions called as now, or say today. What that will do, that will just take only the open bracket, close bracket, no parameters for that. Likewise, here we have created one function, that is display value, that is dis value, which will display this value, because this is the value what we have taken and there is no parameter here. Let me run this. Now the function is created. A function is created and it will be saved. I can use this further. That means I can call this function whenever I want. Let's go back. See here, this is the function what we have written. Define and function name, and then I'm trying to print the value whichever text I'm specifying. How to call this function? When I say calling the function, you just have to go here, say value, open bracket, close bracket. That's all. That's all you have to do. Now, if I run this, see, I'll get the result here. What we saw here is we're trying to just specify that display value. If I specify whatever text is there here, that will get displayed. Every time I don't have to go and keep writing this function. Anywhere you go, just after few function, if you just go here, but the function name should be same. And now if I go here, say run, so I'll get this result. This is without parameter. I'm not passing any parameter here. Let's say I want to pass a parameter. That means I want to display this text, whatever text I give. We'll change this function. I'll say if display value, I'll say parameter. Now I'm taking one more function here. I'm trying to create one more function with parameter. I'll say str name. Enter. Now I'll say print str. Just observe the difference between this function and this function. Here I'm trying to display whatever value is specified here. But here I'm using this as something like a parameter. So whatever parameter will go here, that has to be displayed. Let me just run this. See, a function is created that is display value parameter. Right now, let's say display val parameter. Now we have to pass the parameter value. Now I'll go here. I'll say ITAs, or we'll give this value only first, and then we'll change the value. Let me just pass this value. Now if I run this, see, I'm not using this print, I'm just using this function name here. I'll say run. See, I'm getting this result. Similarly, I'll go here, I'll say display val ITS. See, I'm just giving this value, say run, I'm getting this value. So whatever value I'm passing, that will be displayed. This is for directly passing the value. You can also take the input and then send the value. Like this, say get name equals input, enter the name, right? Then I'll say enter display value parameter and say get. See, now here what I'm doing, I'm trying to take the input from the user and then pass this value to this function and get the value. Now you might be thinking, so why should we actually do all these things directly? I can give it here only. So first, what we're trying to do is we're trying to understand what is this function, and then I'll tell you why actually we have to write this function and keep it. Okay. Now let me run this. It's asking for input. Now I'll say I'm giving one text here now. Right? Now I'll say enter. See? Now what it is doing, it is taking the input and then it is going to this function and it is passing the parameter, that is get name will be the value that will go to this str name and then that will be displayed here. So this is how you'll be calling the function. And this is called as parameter. That is the value which I'm passing and doing the calculation or displaying the value. All right. Next one is the default value. Sometimes what will happen, if I'm not passing the value, I have some parameter, I'm not passing the value. So what will happen is it will throw error. Say, for example, I'll say, we'll say display one. You just observe here, this function needs a parameter, but here I don't have the parameter. Let me just run this and see what will happen. See, it is saying missing one required positional argument. That means I need to pass the parameter. But what if I'm not passing? Then I'll get the error. So for this, what we'll do is we have something called as optional or say default value. If I'm not actually specifying anything, there should be some default value. So what we'll do, we'll go here, we'll say here the function says display variable, say str name. We'll give one value default like this, or let's keep it as this. Just create like this. Okay, I'm just trying to create different functions so that it will be easy for you to understand. Say here, if I'm not passing any parameter, then it should display this value, that is ITS. That means I'm just giving one equal symbol here saying that if the value is not passed, the parameter is not passed, by default take this value. Let me run this. Now it's ready. Now what I'll do, display open bracket. Let's give something here. I'll run this. Just observe. I'm giving some text here. Run this. I'm getting the value. Next, what I'll do, I will go here. I will not give any value here. I'm just passing only this. Previously, when I did that here, it was throwing error. Now we give one something called as default value. Let's go and see I'm not passing anything. What will happen? See, it will not throw error. That means it will give me the default value. So this is the default value. So if you're not specifying, it will give me this value. We can also pass not only the text, the number, the list, the tuples, or even dictionary as well. So any data type can be passed. Let's take an example of list. So here we have this list, one simple example I've taken. So everyone will just go here, say 5, and then we'll say get course. I'm just giving one function here, say lst course is the parameter. The whatever I pass here, so in the previous session we saw this for lst, or we'll say crs in lst course print crs. We learned about this for loop. That is what it will do. It will display every list, say the elements in that list. Now what we're trying to do, we're trying to take, let me just go here and run this. Now a function is created. Whatever list I'm passing, so what it will do, it will give me the result by this for loop. Let's go here. I'll say get, say lst course equals, let me put it within this, say excel PPA, and then SQL. This is the list. Now let's pass this list to this function, say get course, and I'll say lst course. You can see this. I have written a function where I need to get all the elements in the list, whatever I'm passing. Now if I run this, see, I'm not writing the function again, this for loop, I'm not writing this for loop again and again. I'm just passing this value, that's all. That means this function, what it will do, whatever list I'm passing, it will just show me the result. Let's go here. I'll write one more list here, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. See, I have a different list now. Let me run this. See, automatically I'll get. So if I'm doing some calculation, and every time I don't have to write the program. So for that, what I'll do, I'll just create one function and keep it. Whenever I need, I'll just call that function. Assume that I want one function like this. So in the previous session, we wrote a function saying that first take the element, and within that, I want the characters in each element we have taken in the list. That is like a nested loop. Now what we'll do, we'll go here, let's say for CRS2 in CRS print CRS2. Okay, now this is the function. So what this function will do, here we'll make it as 2. What this function will do, it will take the value, it will print all the elements. Within that, it will also print all the characters. So this is what I want. This is my task. So for that, I'm writing one function here. Now I'll say run. The function is ready. Now if you go and just pass this value, see, again and again, I'm not writing this program. Every time, whatever I need, I'm just trying to pass the parameter here. If I run this, sorry, this should be list course 2. You run this, see, change some value or say add some more value. Now I'm not going to write the program again here. I'm just trying to pass the value. See, I'm just trying to pass the value. Now run this. Here if you see, it is 2. I'm just calling that function, that's all. Run this, see. So you don't have to again and again write the program. It is like once I'll write and I'll keep it. Whenever I need, I'll just call that function and get the value. So any function, so any programs what you've learned till now, that can be converted into function, and then you just have to call. Fine. Let's go here and we'll see what is this return. Return means what it will do is it will just return some value. That is, it will do some calculation and then I want the result out of it. Now what we are doing here, in this case, it is giving me the result there only. That is, it is printing the value within the function itself. But what I want is whatever value I'm getting here after the calculation, that has to return, and wherever I'm calling it, I should get the result there. Let's go back. We'll take one simple function of a value passed should be multiplied by 5 and then it has to return the value. A very simple function. We'll say definition, it's a get result and we'll take one value as num1. Here the parameter is num1. The function name is get result. So what this will do, it will return a value that is get num1 multiplied by 5. So whatever value I'm passing here, that will just multiply it by 5 and it will return the value. Let me run this. The function is ready. Now I'll say get result, say print get result, and I have to pass the value. Let's say I'll pass 3. If you see here, I'm just trying to print the value. Say I'm just passing some value to this function and I'm trying to get the value. So what this will do, here it will print. Previously what we used to do, we used to print within the function itself. Here also I can do without returning, I can just go here and I can say print like this. So print num1 multiplied by 5. This way also I can do. If I do like this, it will not return any value, it will just multiply the parameter which is passed and it will give me the result. But for me, what I need is I want to get the result here, because sometimes what will happen, we might have to get the result with some calculation and do calculation on the returned value. So if it is something like that, then I have to get the results from the function. So for that we have to use this return. Let me run this. See, I'm getting the result as 15. That means here it is passing the value and it is returning the value here. Now here the 5 whatever is there, this is hard coded. I need to pass some value and those two numbers has to be multiplied. Then I'll need to have multiple parameters. Let's see how to use multiple parameters. Say get result, we'll make it as multiple bracket, say num1. Now we have to pass two parameters. Here I'll say return num1 multiplied by num2. That means here I'm trying to multiply these two numbers. Now there is a function which is ready. Now I'll say print get result, say you have to pass two parameters, there's two values. Now I'll say 4, 5. I'm passing two values. Let me run this. Say 4 into 2, that is 20. Now you don't have to write any again the function like this. You just have to go here, say print get result, take that function, pass any value, say 10 by 34. Check the function name, it is proper. See, I'm getting the result. So you don't have to again and again write those functions, you just have to pass. Here I can pass it by input values also, that is getting the input. Say num1 equals int input, enter first number. Copy this and say num2, just giving some num2, say enter second number. Then say print. Here we'll say num1 comma num. Now what we are doing here, we are trying to get the value from the user, pass it as a parameter to this function and get the result. See, run this. What did we do the mistake? Line 3. Okay. See, there was some bracket missing. I'll say 20. Second number, I'll say 40. I'll get the result 20 into 40, 800. So this function will be as is. Whenever you need any number, you just go here and call that function. Now if you go here and say run, it will ask for the first number, I'll say 10, I'll say 34, I'll get the result here like this. So this is how you can pass the values as a parameter and get the results. Alright, let's do some more examples. So this is how you write the function. That's all. See, functions are this much only. You don't have to bother too much that how I can create a function. You can write a very big function and then you can get all the results whatever is there. So whatever programs you've written till now, everything can be converted into function and keep it. And whenever I want, I can run that. Right. Then here we're trying to write a function. I have a list. I want to get the maximum value in that list. So I've written a function that is max in list, and we'll pass a list here and just check whether what is the maximum value in the list what I'm passing. Let's go here. I'll say fine. Say get max value. This is the function what I'm writing, and here we'll say lst. This is the parameter. I'll say print max of lst max. Just observe this max is nothing but it's a function which will give me the maximum value. I've written a function to get the maximum value, whichever list I'm just passing. It should give me the maximum value in that list or minimum value or whatever. Let me run this. See, now the function is created. I'll just pass this list. I'll just copy the same thing and I'll paste it here instead of typing again. It's a list. Now let me call that function get max val and pass this list one. So what it will do in this list, whatever is the maximum value that it will show. Let me run this. See, 7 is the maximum value. You give some more values. 12, 67, 2. Let's run this. See, it will give me the maximum value in that. If on minimum, we can just go and change this to minimum. Let's change this to minimum. Let's just change this as well. And then let's execute this. Let me pass this parameter here. We'll call that function. And then if I run this, it will give me the minimum value in that list. Similarly, you can use for sum or if you want to get average or whatever. See, here it says sum. Sum means if you want to get the total sum of that particular list. Let me just quickly copy this and I'll show you this as well. I'll just paste it instead of typing again. So here what I'm doing, I'm saying sum of the list. Then here I'm passing the list here. Let's take this list only. Run this. Here I have the list and let's call this list and this will be list 1. Let's run this program. See, I'm getting the total of all these values. Right. Similarly, if you want to multiply the values, so here I don't have the multiplication. Say for sum we have the sum function, for multiplication we don't have that kind of function. So what we'll do, we'll take one program. So we'll write a program. So what is the program? We are trying to multiply all the values in that list. So we'll say definition multiply list. Here we'll say get list. Okay, this is the list. Multiply list is the function. I will take one variable as total. So we'll say it as 1 in the beginning. That is, we are initiating it as 1. All the values in that list, say 1 by 1, has to be multiplied. So for that, what I'll do, I'll use for loop. So for num in get list, all the values which are coming in that list should be multiplied. Let's say total equals total multiplied by num. If you want to return this, you can return, or you can print the value here only. So if you want to return, finally whatever the total value is there, I'll say return total. So after getting this value, I'm just trying to return the total. Or if you want to print here, you can directly print here itself. Now we have taken this, you can use like this also. Just comment it here. If you want, you can use total equals multiplied by, like this also you can use, sorry, total multiplied. This we have seen in our operators. So like this also you can use it. That is total equals total multiplied by num. I'm trying to return the total. Now let me execute this. Now I just have to pass the list. Let's say we'll go here. I'll just pass this list. This is the list just to be multiplied. But here I'll say LST1. In this case, what it will do, it will multiply and get the values. Let me run this. You have to print it actually. Print, I'll say print list like this. Run this. See, I'm getting the result. That means it is multiplying all the values. Alright. Suppose if you want to reverse a string, that means if I pass a string, that has to be reversed. So for this, what I'm doing, I'm writing one function called as string reverse, and I'll take one string. So here we'll say a for loop where I'll be taking all the string and I'm trying to append it one by one, that is from the end. I'm saying for I in S, S is what? The value what I'm sending here. And I'm trying to make that such a way that say I'm just taking one string here and again plus. So what it will do, first it will take this. Then again it will take this one. That means this plus this. So what will happen? It will go reverse like this. Then this one, then this one, like this. Let me just copy this and I'll paste it here. And let's take if it is fine. So run this. So now the function is ready. Now I'll pass string reverse. Give any string. Let's say right. Let's check the brackets. Yes. See. So what it will do? It will just reverse. So what it is actually doing the logic, first it will take this character. Then it will go to this character, that is this plus this. So it goes on till the end. So what will happen? The complete value, whatever is there, that will be keep on getting added. and finally whatever results are there, that will come. Next, there are similar functions like this, so you can go and you can check this. There are so many functions like this. Suppose let's say I'll show you some more examples here. Or what we'll do, in the previous session we did some examples. Let's go here and see. Okay. We'll take that example itself, so it will be easy for you to understand. So in the previous session, let's go here. Okay. Same example here. That is to find even or odd numbers. So what we'll do, we'll go here. We'll check this, and again I'll come back to this program. Okay. We had written one program to find the odd number and the even number in the list. That is odd number, whether the number is even or odd. I want to convert this into a function. So instead of again and again running this program by passing this, changing this value, let's take this. I'll just copy this. Then we'll take, where is that? Take a new file. Okay, it's here only. So take a new one. Let me take this only. Okay, let me just paste it here. So this is one program which we had written previously. Now if I run this, I'll get the result even odd or whatever. Instead of this, say now if you want to take another list, I have to go here, change these values, and then run this program. Instead, what we'll do, we'll convert this itself as a function. Let me take this list and I'll put it here. Here we'll mention it as definition get even odd. Open bracket, I'll say number. And we'll give semicolon. I'll move this like this. Now if you see this, the program whatever I had here, I just made it as a function. Let me execute this. Now this becomes like a function. Next time, whenever I want to call this function, let's assume that I have this list. I'll get this even or odd. I'll just put it here and I'll pass this number. Let me run this. Maybe I did a mistake. Let's see what is that. Okay. See, I'm getting the result. Now let's go here and give another list. Now I'm not writing any function like this again. I'm not writing all the programs again. I'm just going here. Let me change the values here. See, I just change the values. Now I just have to go and run this program. That's all. So here I'm calling that function. I'm passing this value. Run this. See, I'm getting the result like this. So I don't have to go again run all this program, the continuous whatever is there. Again, I have to write this program or change the values. Nothing. So now wherever you go, you just have to go. See, just change the values. Let me make it something like this. Just pass the values and call that function. Run this. See, it will give me the result. That's all. Right. Let's go back to some more programs here. Okay, let's take this program. So what is this program? This program was to take two different lists and combine that. That is combination of the first list with all the elements in the second list. And again, we are using this AND so that it will go to the next row and then get the result like this. Just observe, I'll just copy the entire thing. Go back to my module here or say the window, and I'll convert this into function. The same function what we did previously. So I'll mention it as definition, say get combination. Here you have to pass two lists here, say PCK, CRS and colon. Let me run this. See the result here like this. Now I'll pass these two functions, these two lists to this function and get the result. How to call that? Say get combination and I'll say CK, comma CRS. I'm just calling that function. Let's run that. So I'll get the result. Pass any value. Let's go here. I'll pass 2, 3, 4. Here we'll say PI CS TA say P. Let's run this. See, I'm getting the result like this. So I don't have to again write that program. I just have to execute that program. That's it. Right. But let's come back to this one. I think we have written this program here, this module, to find the even or not. Let's check that. Okay. Fine. Here. We have written one program to find whether the number is available in that list or not. The same program, whatever written here, we have written here. We'll come to that as well. If you check this here, we are trying to find whether the given number is available or not. The same program in the previous session, what we did. Let me copy this program. I'm not writing that program again because we already done this program. We'll convert this into function. Say def find now. Open bracket. So here we have to pass what? Num1 and colon. And this you have to indent. Let's take this value, run this function, and pass the value. Now we'll take the same value and we'll pass it. Now here it says num1 equals this is the list. So here we have this variable here. We'll say find file. We'll change that because here we are using on you are using this find num as a variable. So let's not keep the function name and the variable same. So I'm using this as find val. Now here I have this number, and now I'll say find val is the function. I'll pass num1 to this. So what is this function? Here the function is to find the specific number, whether it is available or not. Now we are trying to get one list, and in that list we are trying to check whether the number entered is available or not. Let's run this. It's asking for number. Let's give 35. Yeah. See here, enter a number 35, and you can see that number is available in the list. But we saw one more we did some changes in that. That is, we saw the break or continue to stop that function if it is already found. Whatever functions we have written, so whatever programs you have written till now, so what we'll do, we'll just convert that into function and then we can reuse it whenever I need. So this is what we can do it in functions. So here we have, that is for finding the odd numbers or even numbers. Same thing we are done here. So if you go and check this, somewhere we had used that number to find odd number or even number. But anyways, we'll take this only. So here, this is to find the odd numbers or even numbers. Okay, let me just go here, copy this. So what it will do, it will just take the modulus of the number what you are given. Say if it is like modulus of 2, if it is 0, that means it is divisible by 2. That means it is even number. Otherwise it is odd. Let me just pass some values. Let's run this and go here. I'll take the list here. Let me make it as list 1. And then we'll take this, get even or odd number, and I'll say lst 1. Let's run this. See, it will just give me the number of odd numbers or even numbers. So you can write some functions, means write some programs here, and then you can execute it. You can just pass the values to call that function and get the results here. In a simple way, functions are nothing but a predefined program. We can pass some parameters to get the results. If you don't want to have any parameters, you can just leave it as is. But to run this function, you don't have to pass any parameter. It'll just give me the results, whatever is available here. So this is functions. But next is about the module. Modules are nothing but just the file, or say the program what we have written. That is the we call it as a kind of set of programs. If you see this, this is a module. This is a module. Now let's go here and I'll try to save this. Say for example, I'll say function, say read. So this will be a module now. I can call these functions whenever I need. See for example, if I go here, see I had saved it as class 7. So whenever I need, I can call this as well. Now where will be this saved? So this will be saved. So if you go here, I can say save as. So I can give that path. So here, if you go, I can specify the path as well here. If you go here to home page, you'll have so many folders here. So you can go and save it wherever in it. Say if you want to save it in desktop, let's go here. And here I have this one module. So I can save my data here. Say I'll go here and I'll say new file here. Now whatever file I'm creating, it will be inside that particular folder. So that is actually a module. Now let me just go here. I'll just take one program here. I'll just copy this and I'll paste it here. Let me run this. Okay, so I'll just specify some number. Number is not found. Now I'll save this. Let's say new module. I'll say rename. Right now, let's go to this desktop and see. We go here. See new module. You can see that this will be saved here like this, which is actually a Python file. So this is called as module. So you can save that as a module and you can use it whenever you need. So here I've given that module. So module is nothing but it's a different set of files which you can call it. So there also you can find some functions here. See, grouping related code into a module makes code easier to understand. Module in Python object namespace that means it's just, see, you can write some function and you can save it. All these functions, whatever is there, that you can put it into one file or say one window and you can call it whenever you need. Okay, so that is actually module. Okay.